The year was 2187, and humanity had finally reached the edge of the Triangulum Expanse. After decades of probes, data mining, and deep space reconnaissance, we had discovered something remarkable, an artificial construct floating near the rim of an uncharted solar system. Its design was unlike anything cataloged in human or alien records, and the governing Interstellar Council had assigned me, Dr. Elias Marrow, as the lead investigator. I had imagined that first encounter countless times, each iteration ending in triumph or disaster, yet none prepared me for the reality. The craft, or station, as we began to call it, was massive, shaped like a fragmented dodecahedron, with panels that shimmered in hues of violet and turquoise, reflecting starlight as if it were alive. I arrived in my research vessel, Aegis, tethered to the station via a magnetic docking array. My team, composed of engineers, linguists, and biophysicists, watched from our observation decks, their faces pale with excitement. We had been warned that the construct might house entities, or at least AI capable of interacting with us, but no briefing could encompass the enormity of what awaited. The first hours aboard were surreal. Every corridor hummed with a gentle resonance, like a mechanical heartbeat. I walked slowly, touching the walls, expecting something to react. Instead, the walls pulsed faintly beneath my fingertips, the energy coursing through them leaving tingles in my fingers. The further we advanced, the more alien the architecture became, floors that seemed to bend light rather than support it, doors that appeared only when you approached, and a subtle scent of ozone that lingered in the recycled air. It was in the central chamber that I saw her. She emerged from the shadows, a silhouette framed by a cascade of glowing lines that ran across the walls like veins of liquid crystal. She was humanoid, though taller than any human, with eyes that reflected not just light, but memory, flecks of violet and gold swirling within the irises, like miniature galaxies suspended in liquid. Her hair floated around her shoulders as if underwater, weightless, and she regarded me with an intensity that made me stop mid-step. "Dr. Marrow," she said, her voice resonating without amplification, echoing in a way that seemed to vibrate directly in my mind. "I've been expecting you." I paused, mouth dry. You've been expecting me?" "Yes," she replied. Her gaze did not waver. "But before we proceed, you must answer one question." I blinked. I had trained for decades to confront unknown intelligences, to negotiate, to analyze. Yet in that moment, I realized I wasn't prepared for a single question. Not this one. "Which question?" I asked cautiously, my voice sounding unnervingly small in the vast chamber. She tilted her head, a movement both deliberate and fluid, and her eyes seemed to pierce into the very core of me. "Do you wish to know yourself, or the universe?" The word struck me like a physical force. The universe or oneself. It was a choice between two infinities, two incomprehensible explorations. I faltered, the weight of the question making my knees weak. My team hovered at the chamber entrance, tense, unsure if they should intervene. I don't understand," I stammered. She stepped closer, her presence commanding and serene simultaneously. "Understanding is not required. Choosing is." I realized that hesitation was a form of decision itself. If I remained silent, would the universe withhold its truths from me forever? Or would I sacrifice the understanding of myself in pursuit of cosmic knowledge? I want to know myself," I said finally, my voice firmer than I felt. A ripple of light swept across the walls, bathing the chamber in a luminous storm. Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Then you shall begin within." Before I could ask what she meant, the ground beneath me softened, a cushion of light expanding until I was suspended in a sphere of pure energy. My body tingled as though every cell were being read, analyzed, and rewritten. Memories surfaced in vivid clarity. My childhood, the first time I looked up at the stars, the losses that had shaped me, the ambitions that had driven me. Every fear, every hope, every secret desire was laid bare, not for judgment, but for understanding. I saw myself as I truly was, stripped of pretense and ego. I realized my pride had blinded me to the fragility of my relationships, the arrogance that had guided my decisions in pursuit of discovery. Tears came unbidden, not of sadness, but of recognition, an overwhelming awareness of the intricate, imperfect human being I had been. When the vision subsided, I was no longer in the chamber. I was standing in an endless corridor of mirrors, each reflecting a version of myself I had never met, an explorer, a coward, a father, a lover, a man who could have been and had not. She appeared again, her eyes soft with something I could not yet name. "You see," she said, "the universe is vast, but the self is no less infinite. You cannot understand one without glimpsing the other." I nodded, absorbing the weight of her words. "Then why ask me to choose?" "Choice is the catalyst of growth," she replied. "Without it, knowledge is passive. It is the decisions you make, the questions you dare to face, that shape understanding." I thought about the other path I had ignored, the allure of the universe's secrets. Planets untouched by human probes, phenomena defying physics as we knew it. Yet for all its mystery, it seemed less personal, less transformative. My desire to explore the cosmos had always been intertwined with a desire to understand my own purpose within it. She extended her hand, and the mirrors dissolved into a corridor leading back to the chamber. "You are ready," she said, her voice now lighter, tinged with warmth. "But readiness is only the beginning." I stepped forward, returning to the chamber, feeling the hum of the station as if it were welcoming me back, acknowledging the shift that had occurred within. My team looked at me with anticipation, sensing the change. "Doctor," one of the engineers whispered, "what did you see?" "Everything," I said simply. And yet, nothing I expected. Over the next several days, we explored the station more thoroughly, guided by her subtle directions. Every room revealed insights not only into the technology, but into the nature of existence itself. It was as though the station was alive, responding to our inquiries, testing our perceptions, and teaching us without words. Yet there was always her presence, a quiet observer, never intruding, never dictating, only inviting contemplation. We discovered chambers that contained data crystals with the histories of civilizations across galaxies, gardens of bioluminescent flora defying terrestrial biology, and energy fields that bent thought itself. Every discovery was staggering, but the most profound lessons were personal, subtle, almost invisible unless one was attuned. One evening, as I walked alone through the primary atrium, she appeared beside me. The soft glow of her form illuminated the delicate lattice of the station's architecture. "Do you regret your choice?" she asked. I considered it carefully. The temptation to know the universe fully still lingered, a whisper in my mind. Yet I had seen myself, confronted my flaws and my potential. I had been changed. "No," I said finally. "I am beginning to understand what truly matters." She nodded, a gesture of approval. "Then you are ready for the next stage." Before I could question, the floor beneath me opened, revealing a spiral of energy descending into darkness. "What is this?" I asked, though my voice held no fear. "A passage," she said, "to knowledge beyond comprehension. But only those who first master themselves may proceed." I stepped forward, my body guided by intuition more than sight. As I descended, the spiraling walls reflected fragments of my life, my choices, my hopes, each moment amplified and refined. It was not a trial of endurance, but of awareness, a journey through selfhood as a prerequisite to understanding the cosmos. At the bottom, I entered a chamber unlike any other. It was vast, unbounded, filled with shifting constellations, nebulas, and luminous currents of energy. In the center, she stood waiting. "You may now choose again," she said. "But remember, understanding the universe does not replace understanding the self. They are entwined, inseparable." I looked around, feeling the gravity of the cosmos press and soothe simultaneously. I felt a profound sense of humility and wonder. "I am ready," I whispered. She smiled, and for the first time, her form began to shift. She grew wings of light, her eyes holding the infinite depths of space itself. "Then begin," she said. "Explore, learn, evolve. But never forget the question that brought you here." And with that, she faded into the luminous void, leaving me standing at the threshold of cosmic revelation, the first step in a journey without end. I spent months aboard the station after that, chronicling phenomena, recording data, and slowly mapping not just the expanses of space, but the contours of my own consciousness. Each discovery was intertwined with introspection. Each insight into the universe mirrored an insight into my own being. When the time came to return to human space, I left the station changed. My reports would speak of alien technology, new energies, and interstellar biology, but the deeper truth, one I could share only in fragments, was personal. I had been stopped by one question, unprepared, yet it had transformed everything. Years later, as I lectured young explorers on the importance of preparation, reflection, and choice, I would often ask them, if you were confronted by the unknown, would you seek to know yourself first, or the universe? And I watched their eyes widen, knowing that I had once faced the same question, unready, and had found a path neither simple nor final. In the end, it was not the alien station that defined me, nor the incredible knowledge it contained. It was the realization that the most profound journeys begin not with discovery of the external, but with the courage to confront the internal. And in that confrontation, one question, simple in words, infinite in consequence, had stopped me, reshaped me, and set me on a path from which there was no return. I had not been ready for that question, but in my unpreparedness, I had become something more than human, a bridge between the self and the cosmos.